Today, I'm going to expose the pro secret that is leading them to getting more kills inside of their Counter-Strike 2 matches. Today, I'm going to explain to you why they are so good and why they can just frag out against you. This is lots of stuff that we can take and use in our own gameplay. It's not rocket science, guys. I promise by the end of the video, you will become a better and smarter Counter-Strike player. Subscribe and let's go ahead and get into this. What pros understand so much better than every other player is that killing is not necessarily your aim. Why they are so talented and so good is that they are more focused on their own movement when it comes to taking fights and taking duels. When we can shift our brain from focusing purely on our aim and instead looking more at the movement that we are utilizing in these fights, we will open up a new world for ourselves and understand the game at a much deeper level. Kayasuki, Donk, Nico, they're all so good because they have good aim combined with crazy peaks and just unstoppable positioning. You're facing off against Nico. Of course, he's hitting 1-digs on you, but he's hitting them in the most insane ways. You're playing Kayasuki and he is sitting here and moving in a million different ways while he's spraying you down or tapping you. Same thing with Donk. He's up in your face. He's aggressive. They combine not just good aim, but really, really good movement. And I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience, I've played with players that genuinely don't have the greatest aim. They honestly have like a 2,500 or 2,300 elo aim, but because of their movement, it supplements that so much and they become 3,000 elo players. They compete in ECL and higher divisions or, even make FPL. So I'll break down the exact secrets behind what they're doing, the science, give you some tangible ways to work on this. But first, I have to give you a message about how to get the best looking CS2 skins inside of the game.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, CoJo. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about a few methods that we can work on and things that we can implement in our game. The first pro level thing that you'll see people doing is pros are very active both crouching and uncrouching when they're in the middle of sprays and fights. A lot of times in different spray transfers and moments, they're actually going to commit to a crouch. So T's are scaling out jungle here, or we're in jungle and the T's are scaling out to A site, right? Maybe 3 people peek us. What the pros instinctively do is they will sit here, crouch, uncrouch, move left, right, and as they're spraying, they're implementing A, D, crouch, uncrouch, and they're bouncing up and down and also jiggling. You'll also see them doing this without crouching. They'll sit here and commit to a spray by tapping A and D. If you look at my feet, my player model is slightly moving. So it's really hard to actually track, and it makes it makes the shot just so difficult to hit on them. So you have a pistol here. If somebody, in face level 5, face level 4 is spraying you down, all you have to do is find their head and click it. When you're playing Kayasuki, when you're playing Donk, they're spraying you down and your crosshair would literally have to go like left, right, up, down to actually track them. So it's a big psychological thing that they're utilizing and, just very powerful. Because how are you supposed to hit somebody that has insane aim and positioning when they also are implementing this movement? So like I said, your aim is, something you can always work on, you can develop. But so many of us don't even realize our movement absolutely sucks. Let's look at Nico for a second. Why is he so good too? Because he's so good at these AD strafes, right? If someone peeks him, he is just gonna rip your head off, right? He's absolutely gonna rip your head off. One way you could practice this is literally by just getting into a server and sitting here and pressing D, and then right before you're about to, or right as you're pressing A, you shoot. So D, I'm canceling my movement speed with A, shooting, and then rinse and repeat. D, A, D, A, D, A. Like, it's just a nice little methodical way of looking at it. Understanding this is going to help you with your dig shots, your pre-fires, just, even angle holding. But that's one thing you're going to notice, guys, by the way, too, is, again, why are pros so good? I'll watch Kayasuki play, and even when he's in, say, like a position like this, right here, like say he's up here on balcony, he is not just like chilling here like some of you guys are doing in your low level games. No, he's actively doing little micro jiggles, right? I guess a better situation would even be ladder here. He's not just holding, right? No, jiggle, 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 or even out in the open, jiggle, 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 little micro jiggles. It's a habit that I see him doing even when he doesn't need to, right? And it's not that it's a bad habit, it's a good habit that sometimes he just does when maybe he even has a teammate that's going to take first contact or something. You have to get comfortable introducing this movement. And a big common argument I'm always given by lower level players when I bring this up to them is, well, CoJo, am I not going to be more inaccurate when I'm moving around and sliding and doing all these things? Of course. Yeah, you're probably going to miss out on some accuracy. One, as long as you keep your movement speed low enough and you're keeping your speed when you're strafing back and forth to a certain level, you're not going to get punished by the game. But yes, you might struggle. You might be worse off at the beginning when you are moving around and shooting. But it's something that even me, a lot of you will say, CoJo, you're not that good, or hey, like this. But I mean, when I queue my games here in NA with 3,500 elo, I'm not the best aimer, but my movement really helps me, because when you're fighting me, it's never just a straight up fight. It's always something's moving around. So take it from me. Even if you hate me, if you think I'm a bad player, why does it get me elo then? These are the secrets that truly aren't talked about enough, right? This is way more important, honestly, than, oh, you need to click dots on a wall and shoot them. That's why I'm not a big fan of like aim trainers. I think a lot of the training you should do should be very active, dynamic training, because I think that's going to be more beneficial for the future of Counter-Strike 2. This game is no longer a static game. The only time you're really kind of being static is with the op. And even then, one thing that you'll notice ZywOo does so well is when he's peeking angles with the op, he's not scoping in and peeking like that. No, he's sitting out here and scoping as he's about to be out, right? So he's peeking without it being scoped and pre-firing you in a way, or like pre-aiming you with the op. So he's peeking you so fast, so aggressively, it's amazing. Lastly, let's go ahead and talk about how we can do this on the micro level, guys. One thing that pros are so good is they'll initially maybe hold like an off angle like this. They'll crouch, or I don't know, they'll crouch here, they'll kill you here, then they'll jump up here, they'll shoot on the top of that, then they'll drop down here, and then they're holding palace, and then they're moving back around. It's just so impossible to get a track on them because they're constantly moving around this is essentially a pillar. This is a pillar. They're moving around a pillar in ways that are so hard and so difficult to fight. I mean, man, you can even do this on angles where you're crouched. Instead of just holding here like this, you could sit here and have your crosshair in a pre-aim position and just introduce some movements like this. And then when I spot somebody, I might introduce some movement when I'm shooting, or come up here and peek like this. A lot of times I'll do that little crouch, uncrouch, shoot, almost like a pre-fire. So you can pre-fire like this. Well, you could do the same thing with a crouch. As you're moving up, you're already shooting. Boom, you see that? And especially if it's a spray, it's okay because you might miss the first bullets. But if it's a wall bangable surface, it's okay because it still goes through. You see that, right? These go through. So as you're peeking up here, it can be so deadly. It can be so good. So genuinely, guys, I think that this is something we could all learn from. This is something we could do. If you're sitting there and holding an angle, or you're going around the map and your first reaction is to literally just crouch and not move, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're holding an angle and you're refusing to use any AD counter strafe back and forths, you're doing something wrong. Like I said, guys, the only exception is maybe if you're an opper, and even then sometimes I'll introduce a little bit of movement. You can argue it's a bad habit, but at the end of the day, again, it's just active movement that I think is really valuable. So appreciate all of you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want a dragon lore. Check out my Discord. And right now, guys, I'm running a $150 1v1 event. I would love for you to play. So join my Faceit Club and let's keep working hard and grinding. I'll catch you guys all later. Peace out. Peace out.